Welcome back to another episode of the Shout at the Devils podcast. I'm Daniel Amoia. I'm a Devils beat reporter for the Hockey Writers. I'm here alongside Justin Brady, who runs Devils Fanatics on Instagram, and Simone Nemec. Wow. We had to probably the only time we'll ever lead with a player directly rather than the Devils. But that's the type of performance Simone Nemec had, a performance that the Devils have only gotten one other time in their history. The New Jersey Devils have only had one other hat trick by a defenseman in their history, and it definitely wasn't a 21-year-old. I'm blanking on the name. It was a long time ago. It was in the 80s. But Nemec, a year ago, he was under so much pressure, trade rumors that he was unhappy, and if we're being honest, his on-ice play was pretty dreadful. The playoffs came, he completely transformed. Then he got a spot this season and struggled a little bit. And it was like, which Simone Nemec is the real one? Is it the one who has been around for most of last season and mightily struggles, or is it the one that we saw in the playoffs that can step up and rise to the occasion? And I think we're starting to see it's the one in the playoffs that can step up and meet the moment, because Nemec has been, you could argue, the Devils' best defenseman the past few games, and offensively as well. An offensive touch that I think is surprising everyone. He's on pace for, I think, 57 points this season. That'd be pretty freaking remarkable for a dude who people were honestly writing off, and even as recent as a few days ago. And it hasn't always been perfect. It's never going to be smooth sailing for a 21-year-old, but he's just been truly remarkable. Literally put the Devils on his back against Chicago. 4-3 overtime victory. Here's the call from Matt Laughlin on the radio.
Pass up ahead by Markstrom. Nemec looking for the head. He scores! Shimo Nemec with the overtime game winner.
You even got the voice crack out of Matty there. I mean, just it is pretty remarkable. Even Frank the Tank Fleming, Simone Nemec's number one hater, said, "This is a day Simone Nemec shut my ass up." And I mean, you just have to feel so happy for the kid. They gave some context, some great context on the TNT broadcast. And I mean, obviously, you don't need them to say it for this to, it's kind of common sense. But Nemec, as a 18-year-old, basically had to uproot his life and move to North America, learn a different language. It's a completely different situation that none of us can relate to, and it's not an easy thing. And the fact that he had that on top of all the pressure and social media constantly talking about him and comparisons to, oh, the Devils should have drafted Logan Cooley. I'm sure he saw that. He's human. He has social media. Um, it's a lot to put on a literal kid, someone who didn't turn the legal drinking age in the United States until a few months ago. And he just put his head down, kept working, did and said basically all the right things, and now here he is succeeding. So that's enough of my Nemec rambling. It's 2:55 in the morning right now, but you just have to feel so happy for the kid. Just truly remarkable.
Yeah, if you're watching right now on YouTube, I just been smiling for the last 4 minutes now. I'm so happy for him. This has been a long time coming. After everything that he's gone through, after so many people doubting him, including myself, it's great to see this type of performance in a big-time game. This is going to be a game that's going to be remembered for a very long time. It's going to be like one of those videos that pop up on MSG networks in like 20, 30 years as like Devils classics. And it's going to be this game. Like, absolutely amazing stuff overall by Nemec. Also, last game against the Islanders, he had the game-tying goal there. Got the Devils a point there in this game. 3 goals. Right when Markstrom, shout out Markstrom in overtime, that pass all the way to the other side of the ice was a thing of beauty. Markstrom has 2 primary assists on the season, which is crazy to think about. Right, I was telling Daniel in a message, right when Nemec got the puck on his stick, like we both knew like that puck was going in the net and that game was over. And just to see everyone rejoice around him, everyone seeming so happy for him. And it's crazy to think that like basically most of the world was asleep as this was going on, and it was on national television. So It's definitely he definitely got showcased a lot on social media, which is a great thing. He deserves the recognition. 13 points on the season, which is great. Um, yeah, and many people forget, like, he was a second overall pick. When people think about someone Nemec, they don't really think about that often because he's overshadowed by the other top picks by the Devils, like Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, Luke Hughes, and he's overshadowed by other defensemen like Dougie Hamilton, Brett Pesce, Luke Hughes as well. So, like, Nemec has really been the odd man out for the last couple years now, but he's making his mark in the NHL. He's the real deal. And yes, it might not always be consistent. He's, as you said, Daniel, he's only 21 years old. You can't expect a whole lot from him, but we're seeing promise there. And he's proved that he can be Mr. Clutch for them. We saw it in that playoff series against Carolina. He's the reason the Devils won a playoff game last year. He tied the game against the Islanders, 3 goals tonight. Amazing stuff. Very impressed by Nemec. Also want to shout out Jack Hughes. He's just, despite him not scoring a goal over the last couple of games, he's still playing amazing. That game against the Islanders, he had 18 shot attempts, 11 shots on goal. This game, 2 assists. Two of those passes were absolutely beautiful and set up goals for Mercer and Nemec in that third period. Amazing stuff overall. Markstrom, obviously a little shaky again, but I don't want to be negative at all. Like, the Devils won. They're without so many players right now. The list is so long, and then you lose Cody Glass and McEwen in that game. Like, the injury list just keeps getting bigger and bigger by game, and it's unreal to think about. But this team keeps on finding a way to win these games, and as the Rangers would say, no quit in New York, it's no quit in New Jersey right now. They have come back in so many games this year. Reminds me a little bit about the 2022-23 Devils, the comeback kids, but it's a little different right now. Like, they're able to come back in games, which is amazing, but also they're able to be dominant in games and control a game. So good to see a balance of both right there. Amazing stuff overall. I'm so happy for Simone Nemec.
Yeah, just want to add one last thing on Nemitz, because we mentioned how late the game was. Our buddy Josh Langer tweeted it's currently 7:06 a.m. in, I hope I say this right, Liptovsky Mikuláš, Slovakia, Nemitz's hometown. So they were all waking up to the news that I'm the pride of their city or town just did something pretty freaking remarkable. So just one of those cooler little stories in sports. Yeah, so happy for him. Obviously the injuries are unfortunate, and it seems like every episode we have to talk about someone else who's down. And I mean, especially that it's McEwen and Glass, 2 guys who just came back from injury and both going down at the same time. Silver lining, we talked about it last episode. Analytics, all that should go completely out the window. What matters right now is wins. And the Devils, no matter what cards they are dealt, just keep on finding ways to win. With all this adversity, it has been incredibly remarkable. And I think it's something that kind of started in the playoffs last season. Even though they lost 4-1, that didn't tell the full story. They outplayed a very good Carolina team at even strength in that series, despite losing a lot of key players, almost their entire defense. And that kind of never say die, never quit, fight no matter what happens to us attitude is really showing lately, and it's helping the Devils get through. And it hasn't always been pretty. It's not going to be when you have that many key players out. I mean, right now, what's the list? Connor Brown, Zach McEwen, Cody Glass, Evgeny Dadonov, Brett Pesce, Dougie Hamilton, Jonathan Kovacevic. I mean, like, it sounds like an Eminem rap the way I'm listing these names off. I mean, it's just truly astonishing, but they just keep doing it. They keep finding a way, and if they have a little lull at some point, which they had one, but then bounced back right from it, got to give them credit. They're going to be very happy that they built this cushion, and they're in a much better spot to keep themselves afloat when they do get those bodies back. Because if this is how they're playing with 7 key guys out of the lineup, I mean, what's it going to be like when everyone is healthy and clicking? So just a lot of reason for optimism. I want to add one more point as well. Credit to Sheldon Keefe. He mixed up the top six because it simply wasn't working. The second line of Meyer, Heischer, and Mercer had mightily struggled the past few games, and he knew it needed change. It may not have been a fully popular thing. Some coaches would maybe ride it out, but he saw the underlying stuff and knew it needed to change. And the top six tonight was just beyond incredible. So that top line was Gritsuk, Hughes, and Mercer, and then that second line was Meyer, Heischer, Brett, and just truly phenomenal. When those two lines were on the ice, the Devils outchanced the Blackhawks 19-1, and high danger chances 10-0 in favor of the Devils. I mean, you cannot possibly ask for better than that. The Devils completely controlled the pace of the game, and shout out Spencer Knight for keeping the Blackhawks in it, because the Devils had a ton of breakaways, odd man rushes, and he kept long stretch. And if it wasn't for Simone Nemetz's heroics, the Blackhawks might have stole 2 regulation points there. But the Devils had been struggling to generate even strength offense for a few games now, and they really got back to doing that against a Blackhawks team that, even though they are the Chicago Blackhawks, maybe not viewed powerhouse exactly in the league, are a defensively structured team, and they've been a much better team in that regard than last season. So it's not a team you could take for granted. You can't take any team for granted. We keep saying that. But I think you have to be happy with the way the top six played. Still not getting a lot out of their fourth line, especially if McEwen's out. That's really unfortunate. But if you're getting this kind of offense from your top six and getting at least just an average goaltending performance every night, which I know Markstrom and Allen are both capable of, certainly, the Devils are in a great spot to overcome basically anything, even with those injuries, as long as they don't suffer any future injuries, because, I mean, it still feels like it's basically every night. I think coming into the night, they lost 79 man games to injury already, and that number's only obviously going to keep growing with the guys that are currently out. So it's unfortunate, but can't say it enough. The Devils just keep finding ways to battle through and win. We are learning so much about the character of this team, and props to Sheldon Keefe. Some of that goes to the coaching staff. They're having this team ready, not letting them get down on themselves, and just pushing through whatever they have to push through, because there are a lot of teams in this league that would face the injuries the Devils are and just completely crumble and be a disaster. The Devils instead are one of the powerhouses in the league right now at 12-1.
Yeah, and the Devils could have easily crumbled today in the game. They went down by a goal 3 times, and each time they gave up a goal, they responded right back. And that's what you love to see from a hockey team, especially in the third period. They go down 3-2 with just around like 6 minutes left, and they're able to respond a few minutes later with that goal from Nemec. Very impressive stuff. You touch on the top six. It looks really good overall. A change was needed. There was a clear lack of goal scoring over the last few games, lack of production from the top six. And I'm happy that they put that trust in Arseny Gritsuk to fulfill that role in that first line. He deserves it. He's been playing his ass off. He has shown that he is able to play with top players like Jack Hughes. Also, Dawson Mercer. Mercer and Hughes have complemented each other very well in the past, so I really like that pairing together. And then the Heischer, Meyer, Bratt line, we've seen in the past when Jack Hughes goes down, that line is probably one of the best lines in the league, and they have the capability to keep that up. So love what I saw from the top six overall. And yeah, once you get Connor Brown back, like, the depth scoring instantly improves. It'll change the whole dynamic of the third and fourth line as we see it right now. A lot of change will happen. So I'm fascinated to see where Connor Brown slots in. I have to say, like, it is starting to get a little concerning that Brown hasn't returned yet, because it seemed like he was going to return like well over a week ago. And it's a possibility he could have a setback. I don't want to speculate, but I really hope he's back soon. He's a big a big part of this team, big piece for them. So that would be great to get him back. But forward group overall looks very good. I would keep it the same way going into Washington. You got four games left on this road trip. Don't change anything. It clearly worked today. And the only change I would make is maybe start Jake Allen next game. I don't mind them going Markstrom Allen right now and see how that goes. Allen has proven that he's the better goalie so far this season, so I would try to give him a start coming up here. But yeah, I'm very impressed with the team overall. Very resilient effort tonight in Chicago, and also it's against a Chicago team that I think is very underrated. They have a lot of young talent. Connor Bedard is finally fulfilling like that number one overall pick that the Blackhawks knew that they were getting. He's starting to prove that he was a true number one overall pick. He's on a whole new level right now out there. He's reminding me of like Jack Hughes from like 2022, 23 right now. And he's only going to get better from here. So Blackhawks are a good team, and that was a test for the Devils. That was a test for the Blackhawks as well. Two solid young, I don't want to say young. I know I keep saying that. Two solid teams just going at it, and the Devils got the better of them. And that's kind of the common theme. The Devils are just finding ways to win these close games. And I don't care if you win by 5 goals or 1 goal in overtime. We've seen these last 4 games. They've all gone past regulation. They've all gone to overtime or a shootout. As long as they're finding ways to win games and they're getting 2 points or a point, I mean, that's enough for me. And they keep climbing up in those standings. I mean, they're first place right now in the Eastern Conference. I think they're like second place in the whole entire league, right behind Colorado. Really amazing to see where the Devils are at this point, and just got to keep it up. Yeah, that's really all I have to say.
Yeah, you said you'd keep the top 6 the same. With all due respect, that's like someone saying they'd prefer a brand new Ferrari over a used Honda Odyssey. Like, of course you're going to take the brand new Ferrari. That's the way the Devils' top 6 played in Chicago is basically almost impossible to ask for anything better. 19-1 scoring chances, 10-0 high danger chances. I mean, it's not even a question. It's just common sense. And again, props to Sheldon Keefe for making that change and getting the results. You also touched on Arseny Gritsuk briefly. He said he hasn't felt such a tiredness in a long time. He played 20 minutes and 39 seconds, which was almost 3.5 minutes longer than his previous career high. He said he looked forward to visiting the sauna tomorrow and recovering. And he really has. We keep talking about it. He's just been a complete NHL player. He does not look out of place whatsoever. And to be able to dominate like that with Jack Hughes on the top line, I mean, there's something really special there. And the Devils, especially with the way their depth scoring was last season, need to be eternally grateful for what Gritsuk has brought to the table.
I agree. He's been awesome for them. So many of their new additions have been great for them. And yeah, hopefully you get Dougie Hamilton and Connor Brown back. They didn't travel with the team to Chicago, but they are flying back to New Jersey because they're playing Washington on Saturday. So maybe it's a possibility you get one of those guys back. I know Hamilton's day-to-day, so he really should be back in one of these next few games. And Brown, I really don't know what the status is with him. Hopefully he's back soon. And then also I just want to bring this up, something fun. We don't have to go into it, but there have been rumors out there that the Devils might be linked to a former Devil named Blake Coleman. So just imagine if you had added him into the mix of all of this. Like, this would be a pretty good hockey team, Daniel. Like, it really would. We can get into a conversation of like what that would look like, and how he fit in a future episode. But like, I don't know. It's good to see that David Pagnotta is the one reporting this. He's saying that the Devils are not afraid to be in the trade market, and they're not afraid to go. I think the phrase he said, like, fish hunting or go for a big fish, meaning like the Devils are not afraid to make a big trade this season to improve their team, and there's nothing wrong with that. Every good Stanley Cup contending team finds a way to improve their team at the deadline, and I don't know what that looks like right now, salary cap wise, with the Devils. It's obviously a very questionable situation with how much money they have, but they might be able to make it work. We'll see how it goes. But big road trip coming up. Washington, I know Philly's on there. A lot of tests coming up here for the New Jersey Devils, and just keep up playing the way they are. Let me give you the full road trip here before we conclude. So you got Washington on Saturday. Next Tuesday, you got Tampa, then Florida. So you got the Florida back-to-back there, and then Philly to cap the road trip. So 4 Eastern teams coming up, and a chance to gain points on all of them, which would be big.
Yeah, certainly. And I just want to backtrack a little bit for one final point. You mentioned questionable decisions. Speaking of questionable decisions, obviously it's a good problem to have, but when the Devils have the other three right-handed defensemen back, Hamilton, Kovacevic, and Pesci, how the hell do you figure it out to keep Simone Nemec in the lineup? Again, great problem to have, but that's an abundance of riches right there. I really don't know how they'd handle it. And that's a problem for much later that we'll get into. But
You can't. I have no idea what they're gonna do. I mean, it's a possibility. Like, obviously, I hope they're all healthy by January when Kovacevic returns. But if they all are healthy, like, I have no idea what they're gonna do. Like, is it maybe possible they go like 7 defensemen? But like, that just doesn't seem right. Like, I don't know. Um, I have no answer right now. We will see what happens down the line. There's definitely going to be tough decisions that Sheldon Keefe is going to have to make.
most definitely. So yeah, it's currently 3:16 in the morning right now. This is how much we love you all that we are willing to sacrifice our precious sleep to get this out to you. Yeah, really thankful for all your support. Obviously, if you're a Devils fan listening to this, it's a great time to be a Devils fan. Covering the team has been a blast. There's been a lot of fun moments already with this team, and it seems like it's just going to keep going if they're able to do this when they're not very healthy. Maybe luck will be on this side and they'll be almost completely healthy, if not completely healthy, come playoff time. So we'll see. We appreciate all the support. Looking forward to future episodes. Gonna keep churning them out here. It's funny, we always talk about last season. Maybe this is a game the Devils wouldn't have won last season, but they win this season. Well, the same could be said for this podcast. This is a time where if this was last season, we definitely would not have put out an episode after this game. But where shout out the Devils is different this year. So, and that's all thanks to your support. Really means a lot. We'll catch you on the next episode and peace out.